Hello everyone, my name is Nisha. In today's class, we are going to learn about a very important and very interesting topic of biology, which is circulatory system. So as the name suggests, circulatory system is responsible for circulating a very important part of human body, which is blood. So when you eat food, your digestive system digests the food and extract all the nutrients and deliver it to the blood. Same thing happens for with lungs also. So lungs take oxygen from outside and deliver it to the blood. Now it is the responsibility of blood to transport those nutrients, those gases to different parts of the human body. So circulatory system consists of three components: heart, blood, and blood vessel. So let's study about these components. So I will share my screen and I will explain it by using diagrams. Okay, so over here we have structure of heart. So let's see. All right. So heart is four chamber, right? Two upper chambers and two lower chambers. The upper chambers are called as atria, right? So we have left atrium and right atrium, and the lower chambers are called as ventricle. So we have left ventricle and right ventricle. So left side of the blood is, contains oxygenated blood, right? Or supplies oxygenated blood, like oxygen, blood rich in oxygen. And then the right side of the blood contains deoxygenated blood, or the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. So now let's see how heart functions, right? So over here, the oxygenated blood comes to the left atrium. Oxygenated blood means blood which is rich in oxygen. It comes to left atrium. From left atrium, the blood flows to left ventricle. And then from the left ventricle, the blood is pushed into a blood vessel, which is called as artery. So artery is a blood vessel which carries blood from heart to different organs. Then it supplies, it transports oxygen and nutrients to the cell, and in turn it collects carbon dioxide from the cell. And then we have another blood vessel, the blood vessel actually, which brings deoxygenated blood from the organ, is called as vein. Deoxygenated blood means the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is the blood vessel which brings blood from the organs, and this vein enters into the right atrium. I mean, the deoxygenated blood enters into the right atrium. From right atrium, it enters into the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle, it goes to the lung for its oxygenation. So this is a very simple explanation of how heart functions. Now, our heart, or human heart, is our human circulatory system is a closed circulatory system. Now, what do you mean by closed circulatory system? See, closed circulatory system means blood always flows inside blood vessels. Okay. So blood always flows inside the blood vessels, like blood never comes out of the blood. So this is called as closed circulatory system. So we have a diagram over here which will explain you about closed circulatory system, right? Okay. So over here we have a heart, very simple diagram of heart. Over here we have a left atrium, then left ventricle. From left ventricle, the artery and the blood pumps into the artery. That is, the oxygenated blood pumps into the artery, and then it enters into the organ. This is actually an organ. So after entering into the organ, the artery divides into narrow blood vessels, which are called as capillaries, like this. Okay. Small and narrow blood vessels called as capillaries. And then over here, this is an organ, right? So organ contains cells. So these are cells. You can just imagine that these are cells over here lying in organ. Okay, so now how blood vessel will transport the nutrients and oxygen to the cells? See, we know that, we have closed circulatory system, so the blood will not come out of the blood vessels. So in the tissue, we have interstitial fluid. Yeah, like interstitial fluid, like this. So what this blood will do, the blood will transport all the nutrients and the gases inside the interstitial fluid. And the cells absorb those nutrients and gases, right? Like it absorbs oxygen, and in turn, it gives carbon dioxide, or it adds carbon dioxide to these blood vessels. So blood vessels give oxygen to the cell and take carbon dioxide from the cell. And then the blood becomes deoxygenated. Okay. After that, these capillaries comes out of the organ and form vein. Okay, vein. Vein is a blood vessel which contains deoxygenated blood. And then deoxygenated blood enters into the right atrium, then right ventricle, and then from the right ventricle, it enters into the lung for oxygenation. So certain animals have open circulatory system also. So in open circulatory system, what happens? Blood comes directly in contact with the cells. So those animals does not contain these capillaries. Capillaries are not present in the animals which has open circulatory system. So usually the lower animals contain this open circulatory system. So after that, let's talk about blood. So blood consists of two parts, liquid part and cell components. So liquid part is called as plasma, and cell components, then we have three kinds of cell components, RBC, WBC, and platelets. So these cell components like float in the plasma. Right now, RBC or red blood corpuscles or erythrocytes are the main cells which are responsible for the transportation of oxygen to different organs. Why? Because it contains hemoglobin, right? So hemoglobin binds with oxygen and it helps in the transportation of oxygen. And also the color of the blood is red due to hemoglobin, right? Then we have WBC, white blood cell. Now, white blood cell, very easy, as we all know, it fight with the pathogens entering into the body, and also it helps in building our immunity or immune system. Then we have platelets. Platelets, or you can say thrombocytes, are responsible for making clot. When you get injured, the clot is formed there. It is nothing but the platelets. Platelets is a protein, right? So that is the function of platelets. So this was a very brief discussion about circulatory system.